County, Utah, November 18th, 2020. In the remote sandstone canyons of the Utah desert, a team of biologists tracking sheep make a shocking discovery. They come upon a gleaming 12-foot-tall metal monolith.
But what's very weird about it is, using Google Earth satellite imagery, they eventually figure out that it has been there for 4 to 5 years without being discovered.
The sighting of this odd metal monolith, looking like some kind of otherworldly portal, was a shot heard round the world. In some regards, it was not a monolith because lith means stone, and this is a metal thing.
Numerous theories were put forth as to who might have created the so-called Utah monolith. And then, during the following months, the mystery took another twist, as similar monoliths started popping up all over the world.
Other people became inspired by this monolith in the Utah desert and started copycatting from that. And so another monolith appears in India. Shortly after that, one shows up in Italy. You get one showing up in Pittsburgh, right outside of a candy shop. There's one that shows up in San Francisco that is made out of gingerbread. In the end, between November of 2020 and May of 2021, over 200 monoliths around the world just appear.
While some wrote off the worldwide monolith phenomenon as a cultural fad, historians were quick to disagree and claimed that something more profound was occurring that dates back to the dawn of history. Because, curiously, about 6,000 years ago, upright stones known as menhirs that bear a striking resemblance to the Utah monolith were inexplicably erected all over Europe.
When we look at this menhir phenomena, there's a time right around 4000 BCE where these sites pop up all over the place, at least in Europe. The most well-known are the ones that are in the UK and in France and Portugal and Spain, but it's actually a much larger and more expansive tradition. They started creating these everywhere. In Germany, we have the Wotan stone, and then 400 miles away, one of the oldest stones is the menhir of Granson. Overall in Europe, there are over 35,000 standing menhirs still today in almost every country.
The number of ancient menhirs located throughout Europe is staggering, and many historians have wondered, why were so many monoliths created during the same time period?
Travel and trade had been standard for thousands of years. People are observant, and they like to remember and replicate and interpret and represent. So if somebody's travelled to, say, Ruddston in East Yorkshire, and then they go back to Germany, and they say, I saw these amazing stones, let's have a go at making them. It's not impossible that people may have just observed this and then imitated it.
Is it possible that the phenomenon surrounding the Utah monolith was actually history repeating itself? And that humans have actually been imitating each other by building monoliths for thousands of years?
It's interesting that people don't want to take credit in modern times for creating these monuments. And that may give us some insight into the mentality of the people that built ancient monoliths. They didn't carve their names in there, and it perhaps was not about them either. It was about the human compunction to make a piece of immortality.